Welcome, everyone, to the September 12th zoning board hearing. Tonight, besides some small general business, we have one hearing scheduled for tonight. Prior to that, let's go to the minutes of the August 15th meeting. Is there a motion as submitted?
Sure, I'll make the motion.
I didn't see them, but I'll second it.
We'll make a motion.
Yes, been seconded, all approved.
Second. All those in favor? Opposed? That's unanimous. So what? Okay. Pass this down to Melissa for me, please. Okay, that being after 7:05. This is on the application of Anthony Andriola, 10 Wales Street, Milford, for variance relief from certain provisions of sections 2.4 and 2.5 of zoning bylaws in relation to a parcel of land located on the easterly side of Purchase Street consisting of two lots, known and numbered as 359 and 355 rear Purchase Street, shown on Assessor Sheet 1, Block 53, Lot B, and also Assessor Sheet 2, Block 0, Lot 70. The variance relief is specifically sought from the lot frontage, lot width, and lot shape factors of the relevant provisions of the zoning bylaw in order that the lot may be combined and utilized for a single-family dwelling. With that, I'll go through some of the application, unless someone wants to make a motion to waive it, as long as it's the same as what's being presented.
Motion made.
A motion by Bob that we waive the reading of the application as long as it's as accurate as possible concerning legal counsel, is it?
It is.
So with that, I'll have a second.
I'll second.
Second, John. All those in favor? Dispense with the reading of the application. Prior to me turning this over to Attorney Bertinazzi, let me make a couple of comments. Those people that are here for the first time or haven't been here before, any questions you may have, please address it through the board, and we will try to get answers for you. But all questions must be through the chairman, and then at that point, we'll get any type of answers or questions that you may have. So with that, the planning board did review this petition at their regular scheduled meeting on 8/6 and recommends the following. The planning board has made a favorable recommendation. The applicant requested variance from lot frontage, lot width, and lot shape factor requirements to allow for the construction of a single-family dwelling on the subject property. Specifically, the variance requested are as follows. Lot frontage, 50 requested, 120 required. Lot width, 36.48 requested, 140 required. Lot shape factor is 40.3 as requested, and 22 max is allowed. The combined parcels that comprise the property are irregular shape, in large part to extensive wetlands and watercourses adjacent to the property. Frontage and width requests are accurately calculated, however, the shape factor calculation appears to be a result from a misreading of the requirements of section 2.4.9 in the zoning bylaw and is unnecessary. Sent off to this board. In your package, you will find the site plan. And there's a large site plan up here on the board. Also, I have a couple here. And with that, as I pass these out, I will turn it over to Attorney Bertinazzi. Please step forward.
I have some
Get
additional...
on the microphone. You're in
More
the
copies of
hunt.
the plan?
Yeah, we could probably use a couple more if you got the big ones.
Oh, I got the big one.
Just one more, David.
One more.
One more?
One more down here, one more.
You can share.
I can look over.
Yeah, that's okay.
You got it.
His wife.
Okay, you can go ahead and do your presentation, then we'll probably go from questions from the board, and then we'll turn it over to anybody that's in the audience that would like to have questions answered or make comments.
So good evening, my name's David Bertnazzi, and I represent Anthony P. Andriola Jr., or for those of you who know him, Paul Andriola. Mr. Andriola is with me this evening. Mr. Andriola is the owner of the properties at 359 and 355 Rear Purchase Street, and this application relates to those parcels. Both parcels are situated in the Rural Residential, or RC, zoning district. Presently, the property consists of two separate parcels, a parcel with frontage on Purchase Street that contains 1.04 acres of land, and then a second parcel that's situated off of Purchase Street and abuts the first directly to the south. That parcel contains 0.93 acres of land. And Mr. Andriola proposes to combine those parcels into a single 1.9 acre parcel that would then be available for the construction of a single-family dwelling substantially similar to that shown on the plan that was submitted with the application. In order to do so, Mr. Andriola requires zoning relief in the form of variances from two of the intensity of use requirements contained in Section 2.5 of the zoning bylaw, and maybe a variance of the lot shape factor requirements of Section 2.4.9 of the bylaw. With respect to the provisions of Section 2.5, he requires a variance from the frontage requirements. There is 50 feet actual versus 120 required. With respect to lot width, there is 36.48 feet actual versus 140 feet required. And then with respect to lot shape, you heard the town planner's comments on that. The engineer's computation resulted in a 40.3 versus 22 required, but the town planner is indicating that that was not calculated correctly, and in fact, no variance for lot shape factor is required. The proposal meets or exceeds all of the other intensity of use requirements contained in the bylaw. So I would suggest to you that this application meets the requirements contained in the statute and in the zoning bylaw. There exist circumstances owing to shape, topography, and soil condition that affect this parcel that do not affect the other parcels generally within the zoning district. This is a oddly configured, oversized hammerhead lot with the great bulk of the property to the rear and that sort of oddly configured shape that you get from combining the two lots, connected to Purchase Street by a roughly 205-foot-long, 40-foot, although it expands to 50 feet at the street, strip. Also, there are significant wetlands and water courses that impact the rear of the lot, such that our literal enforcement of the zoning bylaw would create hardship. Mr. Andriola would, in fact, in essence, be prohibited from using the parcel, and at the very least would be prevented from developing it in the manner that he desires. Certainly, granting the zoning relief would not cause a substantial detriment to the public. The proposal to use the property for single-family residential use is permitted as of right in the zoning district and is consistent with all of the other parcels in the direct vicinity. Again, the proposal meets or exceeds all of the intensity of use requirements in the bylaw, but frontage and lot width. In fact, the resulting lot from the combination of the two existing lots contains an area that's 2 times the minimum lot area required in the bylaw. Certainly, constructing a single-family dwelling on that parcel isn't going to negatively impact traffic, isn't going to create issues with traffic congestion, isn't going to impair pedestrian safety, isn't going to cause nuisances or hazards to the public generally. and I would suggest to you is consistent with the intent and purpose of the bylaw as stated in Section 1 of the bylaw. So with that said, we're happy to entertain any questions that the board might have.
I just have a quick question concerning the site, 53A. What is 53A?
Which one is 53? You're talking about the two
The
lots?
larger lot.
All right, so the first lot, 359, is this hammerhead lot,
Yep.
and then the one below it.
And above that?
And the one to the south
Above that,
below
no,
it.
above that.
This up here?
Yeah.
That's vacant land.
Who owns it?
Kara Driller, is that your wife?
Yes. That's a buildable lot.
Oh, again, that one's going to be impacted by wetlands to the rear as well.
Is the wets. We're about 359 feet in, and then you start hitting the wetland.
There's a pretty tight building envelope once you start looking at the wetlands and the setback requirements.
Is there a house currently on the other lot,
Which other lot?
the bigger lot?
361, no.
No, none of those three lots, all three of those lots are vacant.
What size is the proposed four-bedroom house, measuring-wise? Is it 40 by 28, or?
Yeah, basically that with a two-car attached, yeah.
Well, this is a bigger one.
The other one, 361 is roughly 30 by 70. We just went with a bigger footprint, and that's already been approved by the conservation and everybody.
53A, you mean? I'm
But
looking
the
at-
box you have on this lot is
You were
much larger.
you were at 359 or
I'm
361?
going by
359.
lot numbers.
Proposed four bedrooms.
359, the one right here.
That's 28 by 40-ish,
Correct, on the plan, showing it.
Correct.
similar to,
Okay, and
yeah.
the other one is
It was different.
30 by 70,
3 by 70. It's a big, because it's wider and it's bigger.
yeah.
So this is-
Bulgaria just went with a footprint that would work for anybody that wanted to
She's got like
build something.
75 feet long on this box.
70. According to Gary, it's 30 by 70. On 361.
On this one.
Stick on 357.
No, he's saying 30 by
59.
70.
No, this one here measures out,
Yes,
scales
I can come
out.
over there.
359.
This scales out
This is-
to
you said that-
75 feet long.
I thought you said it was
This is scaled, this, here's the
40 by
scale.
28, but whatever.
So this is 75 feet.
I just want to know the size. I'm not trying to
No,
go.
So I saw how big it was, and I'm like,
No, that's good, that's good then.
And that's like-
See,
this is
'cause
like 30.
The original proposal with Gary and Helen was 28 by 64, your standard 40,
Right,
28 by 40 box,
24, 24.
Yeah, and then whoever did this the last time around probably went with the
It's
bigger
a little bigger.
footprint.
But you're
just to
saying
make-
this one's a 70 by 30.
right.
Proposed.
He's already got that.
Right, that's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
70
I think
by
what he
30.
did is they just took the box and they plotted it in, but not the
Okay.
actual size
Yeah.
on here.
But
Okay.
it was 28 by 64,
And certainly,
I
if
don't
the
think
board
it's
wants to
gonna be
restrict it to
75 feet.
those dimensions, that would not be an issue.
All right.
I'm a no vote on this. I'm not in favor of putting a house right in the person's backyard. I'm a no. Just throwing that out there right now.
Anybody else? Comments?
Well, let me ask you a question if I
You
could.
can ask me a question, but I'm a no vote.
Well, that's okay, fine, you do what you want.
Well, let's get through we'll get through the board comments, and then we'll turn it to the public. John?
Nothing right now.
Anything else? Dave?
I guess I'm just trying to look at another option potentially to make it more, appealing, where somehow it could be combined with the other one, where you divided the frontage in half, because we've approved larger lots that are, it would have more symmetry to it. It just seems a little cut up, and you basically end up with a house behind another house where potentially you could have maybe shifted it over, maybe two nice shotgun-style houses or something like that, just from a practical standpoint, And I know this is kind of like, this meets the criteria, it's got the 123 feet of frontage. I just wonder if strategically it would make more sense to go in front of the board where you combine two of them.
Where's the wetlands here?
Right here. The back.
Along the back.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I know, but in reference to, so it's right up to the back
Right
of
here.
the lot?
Right here.
It's right there.
This is wet.
That's all wet. You can see it over here.
Is there enough room to,
You see right there? So it kind of just cuts
right, that's the
everything off.
wetland, but you can go 100 feet into the wetland. Unless there's a river there, now it's 200
We
feet,
got replication.
a replication. So that's why you can't push there's no way to push the house back into this area? No. Because it's wetland.
Correct.
I'll turn it over to anybody in the audience. If you have a comment, just please state your name, your address. Yes, ma'am.
Michelle Denlinger, 20 Wales Street. I am very concerned about the wetlands because, Paul, this is not a neighbor thing. This is a wetland thing. Freddie Pantano owned Paul's property prior.
I know. I'm
And Freddie
familiar with it.
I had it all written really nice.
Don't stress.
I'm not stressed. He designed a drainage system that was fabulous, and Freddie lived next door. What it was trees, forest, woods, and Freddie lived next door to that, and Dave and I were on the other side of these woods. Paul came and dug up the drainage system, cut down the trees, and built his property up 3 feet.
Well, just to be clear, he cut down trees under his authority and not wetlands.
Understood. But now, we have a pond in our backyard and a creek on the side of our yard. And I am scared to death that if these wetlands, if these houses get built, this house gets built on this property, and the wetlands are disturbed, because you know they like to go where they like to go. Ain't nobody gonna stop them. So
That's under the Conservation Commission's jurisdiction.
Yeah.
So that's not something that we can go with. We understand what you're saying. I personally dealt with some wetlands as well. You have to put the silt fence up, can't disturb the area. There's times where you can replicate up to 5,000 square feet of wetlands and replace it somewhere else. They clearly understand the aspect of development, how to control water from a site after you build it. Those are all concerns that the engineer would have to address. But I just wanted to get to answer those questions.
is that Liz Menini,
She's a town planner.
the planner? Is that who I should
It's
talk
a
to?
separate engineer.
I already
Well,
talked to
Liz can always go over the aspects of
I already talked to
wetlands.
her.
She's very good at that.
Ultimately, he would have to appear in front of the Conservation Commission, and they would have to take the steps necessary to protect the wetlands.
Correct. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Maria De Silva. I live at 355, which is right behind my property. I've been there 20 years, and I was the original person that was living there since that was built. And I remember, and I actually went to the conservation meeting and tried to see if we could maybe, avoid this because of the wetlands. That water comes right up to between mine and 353 Purchase Street. So with this building going in, I'm not sure how much more water we're going to get. The other thing that I'm a little puzzled because when the original builder built those 3 homes, I was told by him that he tried to build on what you're calling 359 and 361 Purchase Street, and it was turned down by the conservation back then, but now all of a sudden, it's okay to build there. So, what changed the laws?
That's I know, that's the Conservation Commission's authority. I have no knowledge whether this was denied before, or especially under the Conservation Board. That's just not purview.
I always look to see whether there was anything that came before your board, and I'm not seeing anything anywhere
It
that
wasn't, no.
was
Would
presented
it
to
be
you.
more for you, this is David's idea, so much, this isn't mine, but it's a good one too. Instead of having the narrow access, you have about 185 feet, 175 plus feet of frontage, split the lot down the middle so both houses can be on front Purchase Street. You'd have to go for a variance for both lots, but it,
Seems like it would just be more practical.
All right, to address that part, when I had the parcels, well, my wife had half and whatever, sat with the engineers, and they told me the best scenario was two. Number one, cut off one lot that met all the requirements, which would be 361. Proper frontage, proper square footage. Go with that, and then, because I said, why do we want 50-foot frontage? He said, well, 50 sounds better than 25. I said, okay, fine. So I listened to the engineers. So we give them 50-foot frontage for the rear lot, full well knowing that over the past few years, this board has had just two that I can pick up right off the top of my head, where there was a lot that had 25-foot frontage, same exact situation as mine, 150-foot driveway, house behind another house, approved by this board. Then there was another one recently, 85 feet frontage, same exact situation, long driveway, house behind another, approved by this board. They said, the engineers suggested that was the way to go because you met all the other requirements. You'll be fine with wetlands because Waterman did the engineering study on wetlands. We're not increasing flow of the water to anybody. That lady at 355 says she's got a pond over there. If she does, that's on the other side of these properties, on the other side of her house. Now, if she wanted to, that lady, whichever one it was, I met her probably 2 or 3 years ago when I was walking the property, and I didn't know her, she didn't know me. And I said, do you live there? And she kind of said yes, and I noticed she was getting a couple of kids off the bus, so I don't know which lady it was. But anyway, I said, why don't you buy this property from me? And you can build a house in the back for your grandkids. That was it. That's the last time I ever saw her. Every other time I've been up there, they've never run over and complained about anything. So that's all I can tell you about that story.
Well, I'm going to address every single zoning board hearing and submittal is taken on its own merit, not what happened before.
No, exactly.
Frankly, I don't like this. I certainly feel a lot better if we could get them both up front and not get a bigger impact into the wetlands. That's my personal opinion. Because I think that clearly the variance on 2 is much more palatable than what I'm looking at here, where you can actually have 2 houses and not have be in someone's backyard.
Yeah, but don't many people in Milford have houses in their backyard, or they live on a corner? and there's a
Right
street
now,
next
the new bylaw,
door? Just
Mr.
asking.
and Mrs. Souza, if there's room in their backyard, they can put a small house back there.
Well, I know, I've been following your governor.
So.
That's a whole different
Not my
scenario.
governor, regretfully.
I mean, one of the things that was thrown out to me when I started this with Gary was the possibility of combining all of this stuff and stealing a little bit more from another property and putting in condominiums.
But we
I said, no, we're not doing
approved
that.
Central Street for you because of the challenges that you had there.
Well, you just said we're not taking other properties.
But I'm just saying, so when you mentioned long driveways, you mentioned, that's what you were referring to. So
No.
we basically, there was 2 large lots there on those lots.
Right.
And it made sense because they were basically country lots, but the houses were sitting way in back. There wasn't anybody that was this close.
Do you want me to correct you on that, or just let it go?
No, because I'm only dealing with this, I'm not going to
Those
be
aren't the
dealing with
ones I was talking about, but that's okay. And the other thing that was brought up, and this is as crazy as you can get, was dealing with a solar company that wanted to lease the property, the whole thing, blow the whole thing wide open. Because they have, the main line that they want is on Purchase Street.
Yeah, that's the phase 3.
That's asinine. We're
Phase
not
3
even
power,
thinking
yeah.
that. Yeah, that, I wouldn't do that to anybody, and I never did it to my lady to the right of me.
Yeah, and
I know when I
you
bought
got something
those
similar
properties.
across the street from this, too.
Yeah, when I bought that property, she came running over to me and said, "You're not going to cut all the trees," which I said, "No, I'm not." Certain builders do. They clear cut. You know that, I know that. I didn't do that to her. And the water that she has, the pond in the back, we all have the pond. That's the thing from when they put 495 in. I didn't create that. And then there's a little swale in between the lots. She was at one point blaming me. I bring Gary and Helen up to evaluate. she didn't tell us that she had her pumps pumping water into that hole. So why do you think you got water? But that's a whole different story. So we all have our gripes.
Have you tried any replication on this site? Looking at any replication?
Meaning what? Test holes?
No, replication, wetland replication?
No.
Are you opposed to
Well,
the lots that,
Do you want to request to get a continuance and investigate whether you can do what they're suggesting? And
well, I have, well, possibly. The reason I say that is I don't, but Josh Lee Oates Properties has a contractor who wants to buy both lots. And he likes 361 as 361. He likes the other one too. But to tell him to shrink both his houses and make them, I don't know, maybe he'll say, sure. I don't know, don't have the answer to that.
I'm getting my gut, listen, this is a gut feeling. I'm trying to give you a gut feeling.
No, you can.
It's better off to have two nice, decent-looking lots versus one large lot and a possible denial of this. So I'm just trying to work it through for the benefit of everybody, so everybody tries to be in the same boat. So that's the only reason I made that comment.
No, so if I can bring it back and have them reconstruct it so there's two, I don't know, say 60-foot houses on facing the street. But then I might have to ask for a side shortage or something like that. I'll have the depth. You know what I'm saying? Take the 70-foot off that's on 361, white it out, scrap it out. You'd have to scale it. I'm just giving hypotheticals here.
173 is it? That's the whole thing. By two.
I don't think the house, your house is 60, where is it?
I'm at
64, how wide is your house
I
roughly?
honestly don't know the measurements right now. I've never met you before, so I just want to make that clear. I don't have children, I have older girls, so I don't have little
Two
kids.
people get off on school bus.
No, that's 357, not, but they have children.
It's 20 side.
I have
That's okay.
older adults.
But your house isn't,
There's no total.
what he's saying is what I'm
Yeah,
trying to,
I don't know off the top of my head.
don't have one vote, that means you need unanimous.
I'm thinking you can take this.
I know. I don't know why he was so.
Well, we just quickly configured, you can get a 46-foot box on those lots, roughly.
You can also make it as deep as you like. So do the side entry
You
garage.
can get a 3,000 square foot house, you want to do 46 wide by 80 deep.
How about we do this? How about I withdraw today? I don't know what's the legal thing to do.
Well, I think you would want to continue it. and
Continue,
you can
no.
reconfigure
Continue.
it then, because otherwise you're going to republish and do
Oh, no, continue. And
see whether you can
sit down
investigate it.
with Josh Lee Oates, but also with Darren Hellman. They're the ones who are going to smorgasbord this together.
Yep.
So, and I'm just going to bring this up just as a comment. So there's an awful lot of open space land here, right? This, right? And it's wet. This is all wet.
Correct. The whole back.
Yeah, that's right here. This is all wet. I didn't know if this could pull back a bit here, get the building envelope, and get this over
We
here.
can't go this way anymore.
So this is as far as you can go.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay.
I wish I gave you the one that had the freaking house in this one. But,
That's what I was asking earlier, David, to push the house back, but you said the wetland
Yeah, it's all
starts
there.
right
Yeah.
here.
Well, that's what I'm saying. See it here?
it comes here and it goes along here, and then it goes way back and then it comes up.
All right.
From a builder standpoint, I think it's more valuable. I think it's actually more valuable.
But I'm not the builder.
Well, I'm just saying, that somebody would be buying it to make money.
Well, but he might envision something else. I don't know. I'll ask him. I have no problem asking him. Way to go to hell, I don't know.
The gentleman.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, hi, I'm John Hillman at 22 Whale Street, been there for 39 years, and so we've seen the changes take place there, and I just want to confirm, that the wetland property, the water drainage is an issue. It's been that way for a long, long time. When Cantano owned it, he actually allowed the town to go and to dump there. The sweeper trucks were dumping debris in there to try to soak up the water and make it more palatable, and that didn't work. I mean, it was like quicksand back there, and there was all sorts of trash. So this issue went on for many, many years, and if you walk back in there, I've been there the last couple of years, but it was really, really wet and damp, so I just don't want to think that, that issue should be diminished because it's really...
Well, and this is the engineer's job, is to make sure that you're not increasing issues on other properties concerning any water. So that's, matter of fact, I don't see a topo on this, and that's fine, but I'd like to see topos to see where the elevations are running and how an engineer is going to be able to handle that. But it looks like we're going to continue this to the next hearing.
Please, Mr. Clerk.
Okay, motion to continue?
Motion.
Motion, seconded by John. All those in favor to continue to the next hearing? Aye, opposed? Okay, looks like it's unanimous. So this is on October 10th. Dave, you're going to have to sign this, please. Hearing. Please.
Willing to sell it too?
Absolutely.
It's saleable.
I guess in this one.
I took penmanship when I was in school. They don't do that anymore.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you so much.
For those in the audience, there'll not be another re-advertisement. So this hearing is continued until October 10th at the same time, okay? So if you have any questions or you may need clarity, legal, this is Melissa. She can call the legal department. You can certainly get hold of her if you have any additional questions or concerns. But otherwise, we'll see you on October 10th, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. With that, I'll have a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion by John, second by Bob. All those in favor? Unanimous. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good night, everyone. See you next month. Thanks, Patrick.